Hi CBC family, it's Ellen here, and I just wanted to take a moment to share with you some of our current thinking as we think and plan about our future together. Ever since the coronavirus pandemic broke and lockdown began, we as leaders and trustees of Chichester Baptist Church have been thinking and planning and praying and seeking God about an unknown future. Here we are 12 weeks into doing church largely online. In fact, doing so many areas of our lives largely online. And now lockdown restrictions are gradually easing. Some people who were furloughed are starting to go back to work. Slightly larger groups are now able to meet socially in outdoor spaces. The number of infections seems to be decreasing. All of this is good news. But of course that doesn't mean, does it, that things in a matter of months are going to go back to normal. This week the government announced that from June the 15th, churches can open for private prayer, nothing more at this stage. But the assumption is that we will start to hear from this point more guidance from the government about when churches can open and for what and how they can gather. And that announcement gives rise to a whole load of questions for us, doesn't it? We have lots of questions. I have lots of questions. I'm sure you do. Questions like, when can we open our building at CBC? And for what? What groups could meet there? When will we be able to meet as gathered church on a Sunday again? What does social distancing look like in a building like ours? Those sorts of questions. Now, I'm conscious there will be a whole range of opinion and feeling among us all as a church family. Some of us will be chomping at the bit to get back in the building and to worship again. Others will be super cautious and anxious and worried about the future and everything in between. We as trustees and leaders, we don't have solutions or dates or answers at this time. But we do want to just take a bit of time to reassure you that we are thinking and planning and praying, and to share some reassurance about our current thinking. The first thing I just want to say to you all is that we are not in a hurry. We're not in a hurry. Whilst we would love nothing more in some ways than to throw our doors open and gather again, we've missed being together. We've missed worshipping together, seeing people face to face. Of course, we want to take a very cautious approach together as we consider the future. We want to have at the forefront of our minds the most vulnerable, and we want to reassure you that the health and well-being of all is paramount to us. Keeping people safe is our first priority. So that means that we will wait for guidance both from the government and from the Baptist Union before we make any decisions, and we will not rush to open our building until we are absolutely convinced that we can do so safely and effectively. It's also worth noting that just because we can doesn't mean we should. If restrictions do lift further, we want you to know that we will be taking a very cautious approach here and we'll be going slowly. We've got the added dimension here at CBC. It's a blessing, but the added dimension of being a larger church. Our Sunday gathering, as you know, when we meet on a Sunday, is full to overflowing. And many of our midweek activities are really busy. We've got lots and lots of children, and we have lots of older people, many of whom are shielding. Social distancing is going to be in place for quite some time, and that will significantly inhibit what we are able to do, even if the government advice indicates that we might be able to try. It seems to me that over the coming months we are going to be straddling two worlds. One world is where church life is shaped by the need for us to remain largely at home, and where most of our content and engagement and connection is going to continue to be online. This will be the way of things for quite some time. The other world involves slowly working towards meeting in a real physical space, outdoors perhaps, and in our church building, when guidance is given that it's allowed. And we are going to take that world very, very slowly. Straddling these two worlds, it seems to me, is going to be our challenge as we move forwards. Obviously, there are practical things that we can be doing and are doing. We will be carrying out a comprehensive risk assessment. We are planning to have the whole church deep cleaned in July. but we are not anticipating gathering on a Sunday for quite a significant amount of time. And we have a lot more thinking and planning to do before we consider opening the building for anything else too. Straddling these two worlds won't be easy, but we trust God. We are the church. Together we are the church, aren't we? And we can trust God to lead us forward. He's led us this far. We've got a lot in our memory bank at CBC of the faithfulness of God leading us forward, and he will continue to do so. And once the threat of coronavirus has passed, once the restrictions are lifted completely, once we're able to meet together again, we will have been reshaped by the journey that we've been on. The future may well look different to us because we actually are different. We may appreciate some of the new ways that we've interacted. We may have learnt new things that we want to consider for our future. What will community and fellowship and mission look like then? Who knows? But the Lord will show us. So I've shared these thoughts with you, and really there are more questions than answers. But that's okay. We trust God one step at a time and we move forward slowly. I just want to finish by asking and reminding us all to play our part in being church family at this time. Please go on doing what so many of you are already doing in reaching out to others with phone calls, checking in on each other and offering prayer together. We are the church and it's family together, and we'll stay connected as we all do our bit in looking out for one another and in trying to be good news in our community in whatever way we can in this season. Do pray with us. Do contact us if you've got questions or thoughts. I'm always so happy to be at the end of an email or the end of the phone. You can contact us. We'd love to hear from you. Please know that we love our church family. We miss you. We are looking forward to the day when we can be together again. And we're trusting God in the meantime for discernment and for the best way forward for his glory. God bless you all.